Our references in life should be none other than things that make us feel good, feel happy, gives us hope, gives us optimism, gives us a sense of living for the future, gives us motivation. Just to name a few. I know everyone can relate to feeling like this at some point and stage in their life. Those indicators are the exact place of living. The other indicators of fear, worry, uncertainty, living day by day, no hope, no confidence, no purpose in a life, no vision, no dreams, just going through the paces today as you went through yesterday. It's living, but it's not living in a way where people can live. So how do you get to living in that framework of optimism, that framework of hope, that framework of purpose, that framework of having a meaningful life, that you've got a reason to get up, you've got something new to look forward to today? Well, the first thing we got to realize that the alternative to that, which I've expressed, is not living. And it is not living in a way where we are satisfied. If we become satisfied with living a second-rate life, we live a second-rate life. If we become unsatisfied of living in the life that people are used to, that we don't see anything different from the day before, we just go through the paces, then that's all we do. That's all we live for. And anything other than that is something out of our reach that we can't get to, so we don't believe that we can get to living a life of hope, living a life of having dreams, having purpose. But to get to that life of more than what we're familiar with on a day-to-day basis, we must understand that we have to think differently. We have to become motivated to do something different. If we don't think differently, and if we don't get sick of living a life we're not happy with, then nothing is going to change. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you want to have a look, if you can relate to living a life that you're not happy with, have a look what's surrounded in that life. Have a look at maybe the patterns in that life. And that's the stuff we need to change to start moving into something else. If we don't change the way we've been living in the past, where we're not happy, we won't get out of it. And we'll live our whole life like that. The only way to move out of a life that we are not happy in is we've got to change behaviour. We've got to change what we do. If it doesn't change, we stay there. But when you start making changes, then your life changes. It might be you're in a pattern of drinking every day. It might be you're in a pattern where you're doing the same thing day in, day out. Going to work, coming home, going to bed, coming home to your family or by yourself. And, we need to work and stuff like that. But if we want to break something that we're not happy with, maybe it's time for a new job. Maybe it's time to start going to the gym. Maybe it's time to stop drinking. Maybe it's time to go on a holiday. Maybe it's time to move out of the area that you're living in. Maybe it's time to change maybe the people you are associating with. These changes, for as small as you might think they are, have major impacts in one's life to move out of something that you want in life more than what you've got. And when you start changing that stuff, you give yourself an opportunity to experience a new way of living. And with a new way of living comes new opportunities, becomes new places, becomes new environments, becomes new settings, becomes something new from what you used to do. And that's change. And in that newness, that's where you can start seeing things better than how they used to be. But until that happens, nothing changes. So we must change ourselves and our behaviours and have the confidence and the faith and the trust to know that you're going to be okay. You're going to make it. You're going to get through. Like, how do you develop that faith and trust to know that you're going to be okay? Well, you've got to do things that you haven't done to understand you pull it off, you succeed in it. And until you do new things, you won't believe that you'll be too comfortable in your past. It's okay to break patterns. It's scary, of course it is, and you feel vulnerable and it's all new, but that's where the greatest new life lives and is waiting for every single one of us to experience. But only you can do that. So if you're living a life at the moment and you're not completely happy with that life and you want to live more of a life, break the patterns of that life. Break those behaviours. Break those attitudes. Change it up. And in that, that's when new opportunities will come. And in those new opportunities will give you a different spectrum on a life that's waiting for you and anybody else to take if they are prepared to make the changes and see that that life that you've been living has been created by you and you only. And you are the only orchestra that can sing or play the tune to get out of it. Nobody else can do it. And if you make the effort, you will put yourself in a position to see more optimistic things in the long term in your life. You take care now, and remember, if you want a hopeful and optimistic existence and more out of life, you got to make the changes. Nobody can do that for you. You take care and look after yourself. And don't be scared of change. It's the best thing that can ever happen to you.